So the topic of anime and whether something is good or bad as far as shows goes has always been a thing that's constantly haunted me since I really got into watching analysis videos on YouTube, right? And I immediately know what some of you might be saying. Yeah, that was my first fucking mistake, watching analyst videos on fucking anime. Like, what? But the main thing, or the main issue I've had with these, is the conflict between my own desires and tastes and what an analyst or what some random ass fucking guy on YouTube might think about this thing. And it seems ridiculously trivial now, given that the first fucking, or rather one of the first fucking videos on my channel is this video about Don Machi, and it's basically like whatever you like, listen to me, random person, second video. And even if it's weird to go back and look at that video, it is pretty firm in its point, but now I want to back it up with a little bit more theory and thought that I've had on the topic since. I think in the YouTube space and in the broader general internet, the thing that I could never really stand about the anime community, now that I've gotten more acquainted with it, is the overbearing sense of pseudo intellectuality, if that's the right word. Like, everybody's scrambling over to try and make the best, most intelligent point about whatever the fuck it is, when really we're all just watching fucking Chinese cartoons or whatever. And the point of these things is to be entertainment. It's to be fun. It's to entertain. So even if it may not be like the most masterful example of something in the medium, it can still be a hell of a lot of fun, right? And I feel like people nowadays, because of the atmosphere of the anime community, people feel pressured out of liking whatever the fuck they like. Like, now it's become pretty much open season on the ecchi harem genre, or you could also say the same thing for like isekai, where because a bunch of fucking like critics on YouTube complain about isekai all the time, now it's taboo to fucking like it. But when you really think about it, the reason why isekai became popular in the first place is because there's something about the genre that is very appealing and very fun for a lot of people. And that gets lost in this whole debate about, oh, there's too many isekais, which there aren't, by the way. Like, if you actually look at the amount of shows coming out and their genres, like, isekai makes up like a fraction of that. It's really just a dumb narrative, but I digress. It's the idea that now, whenever an isekai comes out and I say, oh, I'm watching this show, now you got people like roll their eyes at you and say, you're watching this thing? Blah, 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 blah. How dare you, you fucking unintelligent piece of shit. But yeah, main idea, I don't fucking like that aspect of the anime community. I think more emphasis should be placed on having fun and just enjoying your time with the actual piece of entertainment. And the reason why I say this is because that's the kind of shit that happened to me. Like, I got really like obsessed with the opinions of a bunch of guys on YouTube and thinking like, oh, maybe if I like this thing, maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe my tastes are fucking shit, or I don't know what is good from what is bad, which is fucking arbitrary. Something I didn't understand at the time is that good and bad are like, on a, not just when it comes to anime and manga, but on a universal scale, are really just abstract concepts that humans created to define things that are beneficial versus things that are not beneficial, right? And when it comes to something like entertainment, whether something is beneficial or not to you depends on you, the person. So somebody else's idea of what a bad show is has no fucking bearings on you, but we are social animals, so we're all trying to like fit in and be a part of the community. And that's where I, fell into the trap of trying to, be Mr. knowledgeable person guy who knows everything and trying to, like all the right shows, when the correct response you should have, where the correct way of seeing things, or the way you should be interacting with the community, is you should say, fuck the community, fuck what they think, right? The community is, in a lot of ways, like one big giant club where you have to like think and feel the same way about everything. Good example, the fucking massive infighting that happens every time a waifu war starts. Of course, a lot of it is like, comical or fun, happy fun times. Oh, it's not like super serious or whatever. But in some cases, there are people who are actually legitimately serious when they're like, oh, fuck Amelia, I love Rem, blah, 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 Or the whole shit with 02 and... what the fuck was that bitch's name? I forget her fucking name. But yeah, the chick from Darling in the Franxx, the whole shebang that happened when they started sending hate mail or death threats or whatever to the voice actors of those characters, right? And there's something that is like primal. There's some primal instinct that gets tapped into whenever people in a community have disagreements and start arguing, right? And the best way to deal with it is just to remove yourself from it and just have a good time. And so I want to get to really the main idea I want to like plant now, is that from going forward now, I want to really make my channel more a place that is focused on, seeing the good in anime and just having fun. Because there's a long period of time where I didn't watch a lot of things just because I was so bogged down and caught up in the, oh, is this good? What is the show doing? Instead of just remembering to just sit down and fucking have a good time. And in a way, like, I started to really delve more into other mediums like video games a lot because, I felt like I could do that. Like, I could just sit down, enjoy myself, and it didn't matter. And in a way, I think video games are kind of what made me change my perspective on everything, because video games are even more of a subjective piece of media. No matter where you go, you'll always find people who feel differently about certain games and think one thing is bad and one thing is good or whatever, right? And I just came to the realization that's a fucking waste of time to try and like argue over what's good and what's bad. Just, did you enjoy yourself? That's what should be important, and that's what I want this channel to be from now on. So it's gonna be no more big analytical videos, which really I don't even think I have any on this fucking channel, but like, there's this idea I've had where I've just constantly wanted to make a big analytical piece on this thing, and I used to have more analytical videos on here about mangas and stuff before I deleted them because of YouTube and their copyright bullshit. But from now on, I'm not gonna be trying to chase that idea or that dragon. I'm just gonna try and make things that are fun and enjoyable, and trying to get people to like enjoy anime the way it should be. Not trying to fucking impress anybody, not trying to look cool or trying to be like, oh, I like this super obscure thing that nobody's heard about that's so fucking great. Probably one of the reasons why I have a hard time hanging out with mecha fans, because there's so many of them like that. high key just blasting over the speakers about how they like this obscure mecha show that nobody else knows about and how it's the best fucking thing ever, right? You know, no shade on like mecha fans that aren't obnoxious like that, but there's you know, there are a few examples. There are a couple examples of people I know who are like that. But yeah, that's the main thing I want to impart. If you're interested in the footage I have here, it's from a game called Under Night in Birth, and they're going to be releasing a new version of the game next year, February. I think a day after my birthday. This is not like a paid promotion or anything. I'm too small to be doing shit like that. I just really like the game, so I use the footage here, and I want to get more people into it because Under Night's it's great, the shit. It's a pretty big learning curve, but it's a good thing, and I want to see more people having funs. So yeah, that's about it. I'll see you next time.